The hater is fresh off literally seconds after I finished my live stream, which a lot of people joined. I thank all of you for being there. It was a great time. I had a wonderful time. I think a lot of people enjoyed themselves. Thank you to those who came. Thank you to those that donated. If you want, you can donate to the hater today, Cucks. The hater will take your money happily. You know what I'm saying? And you get a video request out of it, so here you go. And, I'm still working on the video request, but, I am what I am, Cucks. Anyways, let's get to the review portion of tonight's hater broadcast, right? The SummerSlam review. Those that were in the stream already know my feelings about this SummerSlam. And those feelings can best be summarized by thus far, right? Again, we cannot judge it on a vacuum. We cannot judge only night one. But thus far, first of all, the poster has Cena and Cody, so we barely even had SummerSlam. But thus far, in my opinion, again, going off of only night one, this is the worst SummerSlam of all time, and it's not even close, right? Again, the main event hasn't happened yet, but unlike WrestleMania, where you can actually make builds and you have the Royal Rumble to help you out, for this one, you got nothing, right? You got the King of the Ring that nobody gives a shit about. So, night one of a two-night SummerSlam cannot be good. It just cannot be good, and this is proof of that. So, the first match, a complete disaster, a complete snooze fest. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, right? The story of this match is we have two lackeys in Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker wrestling like the former World Heavyweight Champion and Roman Reigns, who is the greatest champion maybe of all time, right? Between the two of them, Braun Breaker has an NXT title or two, nobody cares. Him and Baron Corbin, right, one of the biggest jobbers of all time, were NXT Tag Team Champions. And, of course, he won the Intercontinental title, I think, twice. Meanwhile, Bronson Reed has achieved absolutely nothing in this company. So now, the two lackeys are supposed to be a credible threat to Roman and Jey, who are two, not legends, but you know what I mean, right? They're presented as big deals, right? Like I said in the stream, this would be the equivalent of having The Undertaker and Stone Cold having trouble beating, the Hardy Boys. You know what I mean? Except instead of the Hardy Boys, you have these two jobbers instead who are way worse. So the match was what it was. The story of the match effectively is going to be as follows. Braun Breaker is coming up to challenge Roman Reigns, right? That's the parallel, right? Roman Reigns is the guy that Braun Breaker is going after. You know what I mean? Because Braun Breaker is the guy who's positioned to be the leader now that CM Punk is hurt. More on that later, right? So what happened was in the end of the match, he's about to spear the shit out of Jey Uso, right? But Roman Reigns takes the spear instead, and Jey Uso cleans up. He hits a super kick on that some bitch. Then he puts down the fat boy, who has lost a lot of weight, Bronson Reed, hits the Uso splash, and wins. Wins a meaningless match, an opening match on night one that nobody cares about, right? Roman Reigns is effectively now a cuck. He's basically a mid-card nobody. He's having trouble pinning mid-carders, and he didn't even get the pin in this one. So I didn't like this match at all. I don't think anybody in the world did. Next up, we have another meaningless match. Charlotte Flair and Alexa are gonna be wrestling the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, which is also a makeshift tag team. These two tag teams are the same exact thing. So basically, the match goes on forever. Alexa Bliss gets the pin. That's all you need to know. It wasn't a good match. You know what I'm saying? It was not an entertaining match. Alexa got the pin. That's how it went down. You know what I mean? Now, are they friends? They're not friends. They're friends again. Who cares? What impact will this have in the Judgment Day? The problem with these titles is that these titles are so useless that it doesn't matter who the champion is. If tomorrow, Piper Niven and Alba Fire become the tag team champions, will anyone care? No, the titles are not important enough, but they're always used in the same way, right? One person betrays the other, and then they get into a feud. Wow, fascinating. Nobody cares at all about this shit. This should be on Raw. This is a Raw level match. The first one, at the very least, you can say they got Roman Reigns in there, but beyond Roman Reigns, it's a Raw level match. Jey Uso is a mainstay on Raw, as are Braun and Bronson. They're all jobbers. Next up, match 3. I don't even know what to say about this. Sami Zayn versus Kross. The match is relatively short, but it still feels like it went on forever somehow, right? This one, I will say, they got me. I thought Kross was going to win, and he didn't. Sami Zayn won. But who cares, right? It doesn't matter who wins. If the only thing that would change is if Kross won, Sami Zayn would be forced to say Kross was right. And then what happens? Who cares, right? Who gives a shit? Oh, Karrion Kross was right. Was he? Good for you, right? But even that didn't happen. And then, as far as I'm concerned, I see absolutely no reason right now for Karrion Kross to still be employed by this company. There is no reason at all. Karrion Kross, like, motherfucks. When people were telling me that Karrion Kross was going to be a big deal, and I said that Karrion Kross was going to be a massive jobber. I know I bring it up all the time, but I can't help myself. It makes me happy that I was right and everyone was wrong. Karrion Kross, when I said he was going to be a massive jobber, even I, who said that, didn't think he would be this massive of a jobber. This is unacceptable, motherfucks. You cannot be this bad at what you do, right? And it's not like he's bad himself. I mean, the fact that he has like 3 moves and they're all shit, that doesn't really help. But, fundamentally, at a certain point, you got to feel a little bit bad about Karrion Kross. Just a little bit bad. You're like, man, this guy, he hasn't won a match ever. He is a jobber. Like, I'm not saying it to be mean. He is just a jobber. And the fact that he's portrayed as anything more than that is absurd. Sami Zayn is also a jobber, but he finally got a win. A win against Karrion Kross, but a win nevertheless, right? The match ends as exactly one would suspect. Sami Zayn has a Cucky Rhodes moment where he's about to hit him with a pipe. He doesn't. It doesn't matter. He hits the exploder and then hits the haluva kick, and that's the end of that. Simple as that. Karrion Kross just goes down. I knew once he hit the haluva kick that, no way Karrion Kross is kicking out of any finishers. It's Karrion Kross, right? The match was abysmal. The match is this one is not even worthy of being on Raw. I don't want to see this, right? I don't think anybody wants to see Karrion Kross again. Even the most diehard Karrion Kross fans couldn't possibly want to see Karrion Kross again after this shit. Then we have what, I'm not going to call it a squash match, because it's not a squash match, right? Because it's a world titles match for the women's SmackDown title. But the match was very short. It was a very short match. I was playing WWE 2K and talking to my friends, the viewers, and this match, it felt like it came and went within minutes, right? The match was short, and in my opinion, the wrong woman won. I think Jade Cargill should have won. As far as I'm concerned, everything that I just said about the previous match can be said equally about this match, except the parallels are as follows. Jade Cargill is Karrion Kross. She is the female Karrion Kross, except she became Queen of the Ring, which has absolutely I don't give a shit. Nobody cares about Queen of the Ring. That's not a real thing. Queen of the Ring is not, important. It's an extension of King of the Ring, but King of the Ring is prestigious because a lot of important people have won it. Queen of the Ring, no one important has won it. I guess you can make the argument for Nia Jax, but you understand what I'm getting at, right? This was a disaster. The part that I hated the most was the finish, right? They take 25 minutes to go up to the top turnbuckle, and Jade Cargill has Tiffany somewhat positioned for the Jaded. Then what happens is Tiffany flips forward, and Jade Cargill also flips forward, right? This didn't look like a counter. It didn't look like a logical counter. It was just they were both up, then they both took a front flip bump, and then for some reason Jade Cargill was destroyed by this front flip bump. But Tiffany Stratton's front flip bump, say that 100 times straight, her bump didn't hurt. She just gets up, does the prettiest moonsault ever, and that's it, right? I knew also when she did it, I knew it was over because you gotta sense these things, right? It's not like, even though the match was early, right, where you would expect a kick out, I'm like, it's just not happening. Jade Cargill is just not happening, motherfuckers. This is a fumble. It is a big, big fumble. Jade Cargill should be the star of the women's division in both brands. She should be in the Rhea Ripley spot, right? But she isn't. I don't care what you say. She has more star power than Rhea Ripley, for sure. I'm sure that'll make Vampire Kirill a little happy. If you were in a live stream, you'd know, cuckolds. Anyways, point is, after this match, we have another 25 minutes of commercials. Keep in mind, I'm looking at the Wikipedia, so I don't forget any matches. And thus far, and I'll do the math in the end, but it hasn't been that much time of actual wrestling, right? We started at 6. It's 9:30 when it ended approximately, so 3.5 hours. Keep that in mind. Then we got Drew and Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. A match that went far too long considering the circumstances, right? This one, they also got me. I assumed that Jelly Roll was going to pin that bitch, Drew McIntyre. But instead what happened was Drew and Logan defeated Orton and Jelly Roll. Some noteworthy moments involved the dive that Logan Paul did. It was basically like a frog splash that was somewhat no-sold by fucking Jelly Roll. And for better or for worse, Jelly Roll's little shtick, him doing some wrestling moves. I mean, it's nice, right? It's nice to see. But then they did their finishers, and the match ended. Now, the problem with this is, okay, I was wrong. I thought the Jelly Roll was going to win. The Jelly Roll team was going to win. But who cares that they didn't, right? It changes nothing. Nothing has changed. Again, right? Like, tomorrow, Jelly Roll will be gone from the WWE, hopefully at least. I think, and by Monday as well, right? I hope so. You never know. Sometimes these cocksuckers stick around for a while. And then Drew McIntyre and Orton can go and feud with each other again. So who gives a shit? Like, nothing was gained from this match, right? As a matter of fact, this match was basically Orton versus Drew McIntyre, but the person that stood out, as usual, is Logan Paul. Logan Paul is the only guy, he's pretty much carrying, like, the matches in this company, you know what I mean? Because if it was up to Gunther and CM Punk, more on that in a little bit, we wouldn't be anywhere. So, next up, it's time for Gunther versus CM Punk. This match was long. It was 30 minutes. It was exactly what you'd expect. A boring-ass match with repetitive moves between two people that think they're better than they are. Simple as that. And I think that in their minds, Gunther and CM Punk both believe that they are, like, as good as they think they are and as good as, Dave Meltzer says they are, right? They buy into their own shit, I have a feeling. So that pisses me off a little bit, right? The match was chop heavy. Gunther did all these chops. He beat the shit out of CM Punk for a long time. Then CM Punk found an opening and did his shtick. The match ends as follows. Gunther gets all busted up, right? CM Punk eventually finds himself fucked in a sleeper hold. But with no explanation, CM Punk just lifts him for the GTS. Like, Gunther's a sleeper hold on him. Punk just turns around and picks him up. He didn't even, like elbow him in the face one time or something to indicate that the move was about to be countered. Like, he just countered it without any effort, He basically, like, Gunther was there, and Punk was like, oh, I can just pick this guy up and GTS him. That's exactly what happened. So, as far as I'm concerned, the sleeper hold by Gunther is no longer a viable move, right? Why doesn't everyone do the same thing that CM Punk did? It wasn't technical. It wasn't brute force. It was he just lifted him up. Hit the GTS. Gunther sold it in a way that was actually pretty nice. He spat some, like, blood effectively upwards. He was just kind of there staggered, and CM Punk picked him up again. I thought he was going to do the, what's it called? The Anaconda Vice, but whatever. He did another GTS and pinned him. CM Punk, new champ 30 minutes later. Now, before we move on to the last part of the show, let's do some quick maths. First match, it says here on Wikipedia, 21 minutes and 10 seconds. Second match, 13 minutes and 30 seconds, which puts us as a 34:40. And then another 8:42:50 minutes, right? 42:55, so 49:55 total. That's 49:55. And then we've got 50 and 5, so an hour and 7 minutes and 5 seconds, and an hour, 37 minutes and 25 seconds was the amount of time there was actually wrestling. So an hour and a half or over 3.5 hours, right? And nothing else happened. There was no, like, segments or anything. So the vast majority of this show was just commercials. You know what I mean? Yeah, some of it was like vignettes, but those are also commercials, right? They'll be like, let's look at this vignette, and then the bottom of the screen will be like Slim Jim or some bullshit, right? After this, Seth Rollins' music hits. If you were in the live stream, you would know that the hater and several of his subscribers and viewers predicted this would happen, like, when the match started, right? I was like, this is going to happen. First, I was like, I think Seth Rollins might cash on Cena and Cucky, but then I realized, oh, wait, why would he? Why wouldn't he just cash on his rival, CM Punk? It's exactly what happened, right? I never bought into the ruse that he was injured. I got into arguments with people. When will you motherfucks learn? The hater knows more than he lets on. Do you understand me? Like, a lot of people are like, it's okay, it makes sense that he got hurt because he landed awkward. No, he didn't. I saw it with my own eyes. I'm like, this guy's not hurt. He landed normal. Remember, motherfucks? When I specifically said it like I said it, and I was like, it makes no sense that he's hurt, and it's weird that in American sports, people just get hurt doing nothing. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And I was right. I was like, this is a work, and a work it turned out to be, right? Seth Rollins comes out on crutches, still selling the logic, and then he drops the crutches, and people are like, oh no. Then he goes in, beats the shit out of CM Punk, no interference needed, cashes in, stomps his ass after beating him with a briefcase, and pins him 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins is now the new champion. Now, here's the problem with this, right? None of this makes any sense. There is no need for Seth Rollins to do this, right? This ruse. It's very stupid. He had the opportunity to get the title, like, the day that he got fake injured, right? LA Knight beat him in that match, right? Which presumably he's going to say he threw the match, right? And the reason why he threw the match is to give off the impression that he's injured. So what happened at that point is he comes out, right, that night, which is exactly what I thought was going to happen then. I'm like, oh, this is a fake injury, and he's going to cash in tonight, against like the winner of Gunther and Uso, right? Why wouldn't he do that? Gunther and Uso beat the shit out of each other. Gunther doesn't think you plan on cashing in because you got hurt. So why did he wait to do it for CM Punk? The only explanation would be he wanted to rob CM Punk of a victory. But his stated goal has been that he doesn't want CM Punk to ever win the title. CM Punk won the title. Yeah, he took it from him, but he still won. So there you have it. CM Punk is now a World Heavyweight Champion. I think that might make CM Punk the first guy to be like World Heavyweight Champion, like with both formats, right? Like the old format and the current format. I could be wrong. That's kind of neat, I'd say. You know what I mean? Like it's not really like that bad. It's two different World Heavyweight Championships, but they have the same name, so that's kind of neat. But yeah, CM Punk gets screwed. And as one of my fans said, CM Punk never wins the big ones, you know what I mean? And quite frankly, the point that I want to end with here is that, because it's a short video because not much happened, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's an hour and a half of wrestling, and most of it was bullshit. Like, it's just a bunch of throwaway matches. And this last one was also a throwaway match because irrespective of the fact that there's two matches in here, if you count the cash-in, which you should, right? We have a scenario where, number one, everything that mattered was predictable, right? Like, and unfortunately for this one, the only thing that mattered is who would be World Heavyweight Champion. Everything else, most of it was also predictable, irrespective of the things that matter. But the things that matter, the one thing that matters, I predicted it to the T. And now I could see in next season of WWE Unreal, I could see Triple H being like, yeah, we really surprised the fans with this one. It's like, no, you didn't. We all saw it coming a mile away. Stop pretending that you're good at this. You're not good at this. And that's going to be a video for another time, right? Not tomorrow, because tomorrow we got SummerSlam too, but maybe the day after that, I'm going to make a video on how Triple H is just terrible at his job. So despite the fact that we had like a 30-minute match and a cash-in, right? The reality was that we found ourselves in a situation where everything went to shit. Everything went to shit, and combined, these things, like these matches together, are all good enough only for night one. So that being said, this is the worst SummerSlam of all time. I will stay with an open mind in the sense that, like anything's possible. Tomorrow could be epic. Like if Cody Rhodes turns heel, which we also predicted, that could still be epic if it's done correctly. Like if Cena gets screwed, that would be pretty sick, because I don't think Cena's winning like an 18th title, right? So if Cena would get screwed, it'd be pretty sick, but, you wouldn't even feel bad because Cena screwed Cody too. So it's just like, fair and square, right? Like what's going to happen then? Cena's going to come out and be like, Cody, you let me down. It's like, what are you talking about? You were a heel like literally last week, so kiss my ass. That's how that goes down. So basically, it could be salvaged by tomorrow, but quite frankly, everything that happened today, I thought was garbage. So there you have it. Worst SummerSlam of all time, guys. Simple as that. Take care of yourselves and go fuck your own mothers.